Welcome to Teen Talk with the 334 Prevention Project Youth Council. I'm Kat, president of the Youth Council, and today we are so excited to have Miss Jessica Motley with us. Miss Jessica is the marketing manager for the 334 Prevention Project and has been with the partnership since 2018. She graduated from Troy with a double major in graphic design and photography. Jessica is passionate about working with students and parents to educate them about bullying and safe social media use. So, Miss Jessica, can you tell us about social media?
Sure. Okay, so first off, we all know social media. It's all these apps that we go on to connect with our friends, to share things that we find funny, things that we love. But social media is the most widely used apps on your phone, with about 3.9 billion people logging on every single day. So it's a really big part of our daily lives, and it's important that we know how to use it safely and how it kind of can control how you think. It's important to know a lot about it.
How can social media be addictive?
There's a few ways. First off, it's actually designed to be addictive, which they have had people come on that have actually created apps that have gone on to say that they realized that they were creating things that were basically programming us as humans to just want that interaction. We want to be on those apps. So some of the ways that they do that, one of the examples was if you go into a grocery store, okay? How many of you have gone in a grocery store with young kids, like younger siblings, babysit? Okay. So when you go into a grocery store, what are the two places that kids get the most excited?
Cereal.
Candy aisle.
Cereal and candy. Okay. And the reason why, especially with the cereal, for some reason they love the cereal aisle, but it's all these really bright boxes and they have all these cartoon characters and the kids just light up. And some of what goes into these social media apps is they use all those bright colors and those fun graphics and they try to use it to bring you in. A lot goes into color theory and how people perceive different colors. The little notification buttons that are on your apps, they're red for a reason. Okay. If you think of the color red, what do you feel?
Urgency.
Urgency. Okay. That's why they use it. They want you to look at that app and think, I need to open it right now. Something important is waiting for me. So they do little things like that that kind of draw you in and keep you on social media. Some of the other things is they market it to be real inclusive. People get on it for the main reason is to keep up with friends and family. Okay. So they market it that you're bringing each other closer and you're connecting. But a lot of times what happens is you'll have a friend that will say they like some event and it's going to send you a notification just telling you that that friend liked the event. Not that the friend was going, not trying to see if y'all wanted to go together, but it makes you feel like you're part of that group. It makes you feel connected with that friend. So it kind of almost acts like a puppet master. It sends you notifications that it thinks will get you to come back into the app. Another way is that I'm going to call it, my phrasing for it, is it creates a time suck. Certain apps, especially social media apps, they will have this feature where you just scroll endlessly. What are some of the apps like that that y'all use? Instagram, TikTok, those are the two most popular ones. But it'll have it where you literally don't see an end to your feed, so you never feel that urge to stop looking. When you go on places like Google and you search, down at the bottom, it has the pages listed. So how many of you actually go to page 2 on Google? Okay, at least one person. Generally, if you see an ending, you're easier able to stop yourself and move on to something else. But these social media apps are designed to keep you there and keep you engaged for longer.
How do you keep your information safe on the internet?
Okay, there's a few ways that you can keep your information safe. First off, if you have a profile or anything, you can always make it private. You never want to put any identifying information about where you live, especially if you're connecting with strangers on the internet and you don't actually know these people. Another way to keep yourself safe is to make sure you have good information about who you're buying stuff from. When you buy things on the internet, As y'all know, there's tons of small businesses and people that sell all kinds of things online. So it's important that you do your research and know who you're buying the products from to keep from getting hacked. And also, if you're sending things, just know that anybody can see it once it's out on the internet. I mean, it's out there. So if you send something, just be aware that anybody could see it and take that into consideration before you post something.
What can you do to help limit your time on social media?
There are a few different clever ways that people have come up with to help limit your time on social media. One of which is to actually turn off your notifications on anything that is not direct contact with somebody, like your messages, your phone, keep those open, keep those going, because that's somebody that's literally trying to get in touch with you. Whereas on apps like TikTok and Instagram, those notifications that come through can just be likes or letting you know someone commented. Nobody's really trying to get in touch with you right then. So turning off those notifications will actually help you keep from going on the app more. And again, with those that have that kind of like time suck factor, it'll keep you from getting on those and just scrolling mindlessly. Another thing you can do that kind of goes with the notifications is the red dot that we talked about. Because of its color and the feeling of urgency, a great way is to turn that off altogether. Any of y'all like me and do not like to have a notification pop up on your phone, the red dot? Okay. I have friends that will have thousands of messages. I don't know how they do it. But for me, turning those off keeps me from going in those apps because I can't stand that red dot and I'll do whatever it takes to get rid of it. So, y'all had a brain fart. Sorry, y'all. Some other ways that you can kind of limit your exposure is to put actual apps on your home screen that are not social media apps, like your messages, a map app, anything that tells you about your homework, something that you're not going to want to just sit on for long periods of time and scroll. So those are a few different ways that you can limit your time.
What are some things we should watch out for online?
There are a few threats to being on social media, and it's important that you understand where they come from. One of the threats, the biggest threat actually, is yourselves. One thing we like to tell the kids when we go in and teach is, of course, they always get a kick out of it, is we say, don't post anything your grandma wouldn't like to see. And it's really true. Like if you think that somebody in your family would get upset and if you post something that might offend, think about it that way. If your grandma saw it, would she be mad at you? So it's really important because especially these days, when I graduated college, they weren't looking at my social media because it was not everybody used it. But now everybody looks at social media. Jobs, clubs, sororities, fraternities, all kinds of places will look at your social media before they agree to work with you or hire you. So it's really important, not that you put this dull face on your social media and don't do anything fun, but just think about the fact that in the future, people will be looking at your profiles for more than just trying to connect with you. They're trying to learn about you. So it's really important that you stop and think that through. Another thing to really watch out for is predators online, especially when you're dealing with strangers and you really need to know who you're talking to, which can be hard when, again, you're dealing with people you've never met before. So it's always good to do your research. Just like I said, they're going to look at your profile. Go ahead and research them. So I had kids, and anytime they come home and tell me about a friend, I'm like, what's their mama's name? I just want to know what they're like. I want to know who my kids are talking to. So just think about it that way. You do your research like you think they'll do theirs. And the last one that's a real big threat that not a lot of people like to talk about is the fact that there are thousands and thousands of porn websites online. You really have to be careful because it makes up 12% of all of the internet, just all of it. And that is a really big chunk of internet, and it doesn't sound like it, but it is really important for you to know that those sites are out there. And sometimes there's just so many of them, you might accidentally get onto one without even meaning to. They're just there, and they're trying to trick people into getting on them. They're trying to bring people in. But it is very important to remember that pornography is very addictive, and it can really, really mess with your mental health and your relationships. So it's important that you watch the types of sites you're going to so you don't get stuck in one of those. And that was all the questions, right? Okay, good. Because this is my favorite part. Okay, so we talk about all the time, you hear especially parents and grandparents, they always talk about it's dangerous, it's addictive, all you do is look at your phones, right? Y'all heard that? Okay.
The other day.
Yeah, they like to say that, but I really like to think that social media is one of the best inventions that y'all have at your fingertips. Okay, and so I would like to hear from y'all. What are some good things that y'all think social media brings to the table?
We can meet new people, make new friends.
Yes, that's my favorite one. You can meet all kinds of new people online. Anybody else?
You can dress how you want to and not like express yourself on there.
Yes, you can express yourself. That is one great thing about social media is it makes you feel more comfortable because you find people who like the same things that you do, and you feel that you can express yourself and let yourself be known to the people who most are like you and have the same interests that you do. Go
You
ahead.
can find new hobbies and things to do.
Yes. Have you found any hobbies online?
And
You want to share? No? Okay. So yes, you can find new hobbies and you can basically learn to do anything online. It is a great place for finding those hobbies because you can connect with the people right there. And again, you can go into like so in depth and there's so many fandoms and different kinds of, you like the same music, you read the same books, and those you can really connect with those people and learn a lot of new things that way.
Speaking of one of the hobbies, me and my friend did that during quarantine, but like kind of near the end of it. But it was right in the smack middle of April, and it was hot outside, and all of the bleach dyeing was taking place.
Yes.
And so we got together and we just looked up video after video of different designs that they did.
Mhm.
And like she bleached a pair of the shorts where you did one side bleached and then one side was regular. We did a couple that were tie-dyed and then just different designs that we could.
That trend looked like a lot of fun. I wish I had jumped in on it. But yeah, like, and what's even crazier, one that really stands out to me, especially for y'all to know about, is you can do any kind of job online right now, especially right now with COVID. A lot of people have moved to remote and doing stuff online. There are so many teenagers that are learning things that I wish I had been taught in high school. Learning about the stock market, learning about taking care of your finances, learning how to design and code. It is literally limitless. And you are able to go on there and just learn all these great things that some people had to go to college for, or you might even be able to pay for a course that's going to cost you a third of what college costs, but you're going to learn the same stuff and have the same qualifications. So that especially is really great for this generation. I think that y'all are going to be more financially able and well off than ours were because you are able to share those stories and help each other. And that's probably my favorite thing about social media is that connection of wanting to help each other because it can be a negative place. Obviously, most people point to Facebook when you talk about being negative, but it really can be positive. And one of my favorite apps, which I'm a little embarrassed to admit, is TikTok. But they are so giving, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all have the best sense of humor of any of the generations. I love watching all the videos that Gen Z does. And it's really just y'all are there for each other. And I think that's one of the things that social media brings to the table for y'all. Anybody else have any?
Well, I like the humor, like the funny content. Like if you're having a bad day, you can scroll on TikTok and see funny stuff that'll bring you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love all the funny stuff too. One of the things too, that we do have to be careful of, and this kind of goes back to helping each other. And I thought when you were saying you have a bad day, you know, if you go online and online is not a good place for you, it's important that y'all see that and lift each other up. Cyberbullying can be a big deal. It can be a big thing. It has caused a lot of issues. But just like you said, go in there and encourage each other. If you see it happening, you can always go and just, you know, make a nice comment, even just say something nice about their picture or something that they've made. And it's always a chance for you to go in and show some kindness to somebody else on the internet.
I use Snapchat to keep like up with friends and see what they're doing on their stories because I don't go to school. So like I don't get to see my friends every day or see people every day. So on stories, like they'll be posting stuff, and that's pretty much why I use social media, just to keep up with like the everyday world.
Oh yeah. Do you participate in doing the streaks
Yes.
on Snap? Okay.
Yes.
So I figured you probably would. But yeah, like I said, especially with everybody doing virtual, it's a great way for you to connect with friends. And, you know, for me, when I was going to school, when a friend would move away, that was it. I mean, we keep up a little bit and, you know, we might talk on the phone sometimes, but really you had to go out of your way to make sure that you kept up with that friend. So, you know, being able to keep those connections even when you're not there together, I think that is one great thing about social media.
The only thing I don't like about Snapchat is they came up with that new thing, the Snap Map, that you can see everybody's
Oh, I hate
location.
that.
Everybody
Yeah.
has their location on for me, and I'm sitting there like, I ain't turning my location on.
And
Like, you see
You
exactly
shouldn't.
where
Trust me.
I am.
And that's really good to point out because a lot of these, y'all would be surprised. Any marketing course, they are specifically reaching out and trying to get your information at all times. It is absolutely insane the amount of information they can pull. If a certain website has an analytic or a tracker on it, it can get things like where you live, your male or female, what race you are, like it can pull anything from that. And it's really crazy how much they can find out. So keeping stuff like that turned off and not giving them an extra thing to have to track you and to know more about you is great. And I agree. I hate that feature on Snapchat. I want people to know
People
where I
ask me
am.
to turn it on, and I'm like, I can just tell you where I am.
Exactly.
I don't have to turn it on.
Oh, the
Exactly.
reason why I hate it is because like before the update, you can like slide on the name and you just type and let them now when you swipe.
So, like we've talked about, there's a lot of different good things about social media. Did y'all have any other questions or any other things that y'all enjoy doing on social media?
What age do you think is appropriate for someone to have a social media? Or
Ooh.
maturance level?
Oh, this is kind of a tough question. So good call there. I have 8-year-olds and I do let them do some, but it is very supervised. So I would feel like probably once you're to a teenage age, like 13, you know, you can have a little bit more flexibility there. And it's really, that line has moved because again, y'all have grown up with it. It's more common to y'all. And I really feel like that age has probably come down some. But I would think probably to around a teenage age would be a good time to start, because I'm afraid if you're too young, you can see so many things that you can't unsee on the internet, whether you intend to or not. One of the big ones that we haven't mentioned is video games. They're not technically social media, but you are interacting with people you've never met. And how many of you have ever heard a chat when they're playing video games?
My sister plays with her friends all the time, but one time she was playing with like a random person, and it was an older man.
Mhm.
And we finally like got it to where he couldn't talk with her anymore and she couldn't talk with him. And she didn't realize that it was an older man, but
Yeah,
like my mom got on there one time, was like, hey, how old are you? And stuff like that. And she finally got the answer and he was like 28. And so it was just like, no more for you. So they're very supervised on social media and stuff.
yeah. And see, that's the thing is, not only do we worry about y'all putting stuff out there, like we talked about, sometimes you can be your biggest threat, but we worry about what people will say and do to you. And like you said, they'll try to convince you that they're somebody else. I mean, it happens all the time. So honestly, I would say the younger the child is, the more supervision is needed. But I think what the most important thing is to teach them young. So helping all of the younger generation really understand just how much goes into social media and how it can affect them and helping them understand it better. That's kind of like we talk about the partnership. We're not in the business of scaring people. We want to tell you the truth. We want you to make that decision yourself. And it's up to us to give you that information so that you can make the right decisions for you. So I would really say, the younger monitor quite a bit, but probably 13 or 14 is probably good. Any other questions or anything that y'all had? Okay, what is your absolute hands down favorite social media site to be on?
TikTok.
TikTok,
Instagram.
Instagram,
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
YouTube.
We hadn't even talked about YouTube.
I'd rather
And
be
just-
24/7, watching those bikers
Yes.
and stuff, like doing tricks.
Now, YouTube is phenomenal because I'm absolutely convinced that if it's not on YouTube, nobody knows how to do it. Because there's always something new to learn on YouTube, which I think that makes it a fantastic platform. And a lot of times, people will start like these blogs and they'll go in and vlog and all this stuff. And it's just interesting to see this next level of connection with somebody you've never met. And how many of y'all have made friends that are online only? You don't know them in real life. Okay. Do you consider those close friends? Okay. And that's one thing that's a little harder for the older generation to comprehend, that you don't see those people. How can you really be their friends? But one of them, for example, for me, when I had my twins, I felt like I had been put in this like really super exclusive club. Like I found and made friends of people that had twins that were, one of them, her twins were exactly a week younger than mine. And we're still friends to this day. And so that's why we say you should know who you're talking to, because these can actually be really good lifelong friendships. These people you'll talk to for years to come for some people. I know people that have met over video games and got married. So it's really important to know those are people, and those friendships, they're important. And so knowing who you're talking to online is super important. And just, be your true self. Don't try to be somebody that you're not for social media. Okay. So I think we're ready to wrap up.
Thank you, Miss Jessica, for being here. And to the audience, we would like to invite you to join our first charity event. This is a softball tournament for our Dothan first responders. It will be held April 17th at 9 a.m. And all the all money raised will go to the recovery to help them as they fight addiction and substance abuse.
Also, if you or one of your friends that you know would be interested in joining Youth Council, you can always find us on our social media, Instagram and Facebook at 334 Prevention Project, or you can visit our website at 334 Prevention Project. Thank you.